What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Jackal Gold Games. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about video games that scared me as a kid. So I have three titles that I'm going to talk about, three video games that scared me as a kid. Now, the first one I'm going to be talking about is a game I don't have anymore, though I used to own it. And that game was Twisted Metal Black for the PlayStation 2. Now, Twisted Metal Black scared me a lot as a kid. That game was very scary. It was a different change for Twisted Metal series because Twisted Metal went from being T rated to being M rated, and it was a huge change. It was a very dark take on Twisted Metal. The music was very dark. A lot of the character designs were a lot crazier, and what really scared me the most as a kid with Twisted Metal Black was how some of the characters looked and how the music was. The game was just very creepy for me as a kid. Like specifically the character that scared me the most as a kid that was disturbing for me was Crazy Eight, because he was like a bald guy and his eyes and his mouth was sewn shut. He was creepy as hell, man. Creepy design. The music that plays in the character selection screen, the do that fucking music, very creepy. I mean, it's a great game. It's a phenomenal game. The best Twisted Metal easily. I love that game. But as a kid, that game scared the hell out of me, man. Mainly that character design, a lot of the character designs, and the fucking music, and a lot of that stuff. A lot of that game was freaking disturbing as hell. Like you had the doll face woman, you had the Brimstone, I think was his name. He was like a bald, like religious guy. He had a body in the back of his truck. That game had some crazy shit. So that was the first one I wanted to talk about. One of the games that scared me a lot as a kid. The next one I'm going to be talking about is going to be Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2. This is another game that scared me as a kid, specifically a certain part of this game, the regenerators on the island section. The regenerators on the island section scared me to death as a kid. It was so scary to deal with. It was so bad, in fact, that a lot of times in those parts, I didn't even want to play those parts. When I had to face the regenerators, I didn't even want to play those parts. Those things were so creepy. Their design, the breathing noise they make, the music that plays when you're near those things, the area itself, so damn creepy, especially at that young age. A lot of times I didn't even want to play those parts. I would have to get other people to play those parts for me. I remember one time going through one of those parts, I had to get my cousin to get through the part for me. I was that scared by it. The regenerators and the island stuff. That was the scariest part of the game, and that scared me as a kid. I mean, some of the enemies coming up behind you could be creepy as well, but this is another game that scared me as a kid. Yeah, creepy as shit, that's for sure. So that's the second one I wanted to talk about, Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation 2. And then the next and last one I'm going to be talking about, another video game that scared me as a kid, is Dead Rising 1 for the Xbox 360. Yeah, this is another game that scared me as a kid because it has, it's a good Dead Rising game, best one in the series. It's got a good horror tone, but it's easily the creepiest one in the series. And as a kid, this game really scared me because firstly, the main menu music that plays before you start the game is so creepy. Even when I would hear somebody else playing it in the house and hearing that music, even if it's just on standby, that shit was so creepy to listen to. It was like, oh, that's creepy as hell. And like some other stuff about this game that creeped me out as a kid was like certain boss battles are kind of on edge. Like the Cliff boss fight, and it still is a little unnerving to fight him in this game because Cliff is like this big ass dude with a machete, and at first you see where he's at, but then he goes in these holes. He comes on these areas and throws down these like light things, and then when you don't know where he is, you can't see him anywhere. He can sneak up behind you. And I remember there was a time where I was trying to play it, and I was just camping, because it was unnerving to deal with him. So he was creepy to deal with. The cult could be creepy to deal with. You know, going out at the mall and dealing with the convicts, they could be creepy to deal with. And the game was just very creepy in itself. The atmosphere, the music, the way the game felt. The underground tunnels were so creepy. Like they were very creepy, honestly. Like because they were just so disturbing to be in, and it kind of felt like somebody was watching you. Like I just always had this feeling in this game that somebody was watching me for some reason. I don't know why. Like this game scared me as a kid, just in a lot of ways. And there were times where I had to take a break from playing this when I was younger as a kid. This game really scared me that much. There was times where I just, the game kind of left me on edge, and I was playing it in the tunnels, or and I was playing it like certain parts of the game. Like I shut the game off, and I couldn't like commit to playing it because it creeped me out that much. It kind of left me on edge. It was pretty scary, that's for sure. I mean, this game and Resident Evil 4 and Twisted Metal Black, these games they don't have that exact same feel as I've gotten older, but they still have some scary elements to them, and they still can be creepy games. But when I was a kid, they were definitely the scariest. So yeah, that's my third and last choice, Dead Rising for Xbox 360. So yeah, that's all I really got to say for this video. Just a quick video about some video games that scared me as a kid, and it was these two, Twisted Metal Black for PlayStation 2. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what video games scared you as a kid. But that's it for my video. Peace out.